Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to this live video. Yes, The Rock teases a DC Universe 60-second promo, should I say, later on today. How awesome is that? Also, DC are giving us new logos for the DC insignia, and they're promoting their hell out of these 4 movies. All of a sudden, they're boasting about these 4 awesome DC movies they've got this year. Just take a look at this. Hopefully I don't get closed down for showing you this. And please tell me that's not awesome, because that is awesome. So they're really promoting their upcoming movies. Arvind Kumar, hello, fire. Yes, it's fire because it's exciting. So they're really promoting the hell out of this. I have recorded a 10-minute DCEU daily pre-recorded for a little bit later on, but I thought I'd also go live. I'm really looking forward for this 60-second DC Universe promo that The Rock is teasing. What do we think's going to be in this? Now, we know that Jim Lee, gave the thumbs up on Twitter when they were promoting the 4 movies, when they were promoting that video I just showed you just a mere seconds ago. So it's pretty clear they're really going to go all out to promote these 4 movies coming out later this year. No mention of Batgirl. I still believe that Batgirl could be moved from HBO Max into cinemas, because that's what they did to Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle is another exciting project. Arvind Kumar, do you know what time they'll release it? No. I don't know if you're in Europe. I'm in Europe. I'm in the UK. So in the UK, it'll probably be about, I would say, about 3 in the afternoon. Or maybe they'll do it in the evening, which will probably take us to we may have to, when they say tomorrow, it could be when we're all asleep in Europe. It's utterly confusing. Just keep your eyes peeled. Zenith JS, we have Batman Critic movie released today. You know about that? Yes, I think they've actually seen it now. Was it yesterday? I don't know when. Again, these timings, because it's American accounts who talk about this. I think they've seen it now. So you should expect critics to be glowing on Twitter and other social media platforms about the Batman. That's very, very exciting. This DC live action positivity is brilliant. Brilliant if you're a DC fan and you're here for DC and you're not just here for one director or one set of films or telling lies. There was one idiot on Twitter saying that the projections of the Batman's box office are a lie, and actually they're lower than estimated. Bullshit. This film is going to hit hard. I just finished doing a pre-recorded video talking about how the Batman is the godfather of comic book movies. So let's not get it twisted. There are frustrated Snyder fans out there. Listen, I'm a Snyder fan, but I choose not to hate on Walter Hamada, because Walter Hamada hasn't done anything to me. He hasn't done anything wrong. He was brought in to fix a mess, and he's attempting to fix that mess. It's as simple as that. If you want to believe Ray Fisher, that's up to you. I think Ray Fisher is full of shit. Zenith, you're amazing. Thank you, Zenith JS. So are you. Thank you for following me, subscribing to me. And I really want to thank the people who not just like and subscribe and maybe share, but the ones who actually sit there and watch the entire video. That's very important. I cannot be monetized at the moment because I've only got a certain amount of watch time. So I think I'm on 2.k or something, and I need to be on 4,000 or whatever it is. Anyway, Android 118XX. Won't there be critics that will purposely sabotage the movie in the early screenings? Listen, I don't think critics will want to sabotage. Listen, unless you're... Look, right? I know people call me a liar, but I have seen the movie. I promise you, I have seen the movie, right? No one... there could be people, there could be critics who say, oh, this was a bit this or that was a bit that. Too many villains, too long. But from what I'm hearing, everybody's fucking loving this movie and got nothing but good things to say about it. Shamath Gopi Nathan, hey man, how are you? Very well, how are you? I mean, come on, I think the Batman will open with at least 135 plus domestic. It's going to come in huge. And listen, I don't know how huge. There's been estimations of 200 million domestic or just under for the opening weekend. I don't know how viable that is. All I can tell you is this, that the Batman as a character, forget the film. There's two characters in comics right now that, you know, the MCU has a bump because it's the MCU with all its films. But I'm talking about two comic book characters who are so loved, and that's Batman and Joker. Whenever they're involved in something, it hits big. Even Batman versus Superman didn't make the money that WB wanted, but it had a great opening weekend. The Joker movie had a huge, opening and a huge box office as well. The Joker is probably as huge as Batman is as a character as well. But I think, Arif Kumar, I think you're right on your estimations. Listen, however it comes in, it's going to come in huge. Now, I'm not trying to say that it's going to do Spider-Man No Way Home money, because if it does, that's amazing, because that doesn't, that film is focusing on a brand new version of an iconic character. It's not throwing in Michael Keaton or anything like that. It's doing its own thing. So if it was to come in at a 200 million opening domestic box office, that would be huge. Shamath Gopi Nathan, do you think the Batman will have good reception among critics? Yes. I can't see any situation where critics are not going to like this film. We did have an issue with the Joker because SJWs decided to say it was making excuses for men that kill, which was absolute bullshit. Having mental health issues isn't an excuse. It's an issue, So, Arthur Fleck had mental issues, but he was looking after his mum. He was tortured by his mother's boyfriend. These are issues that happen to children and people in the real world. But The Joker was a great movie. Another great DC movie, by the way. People keep on telling me that DC's crap, but how many Marvel films can level with The Joker or The Dark Knight or Batman Begins or Superman the movie or Man of Steel? Android 118 times or double X. Do you think that Matt Reeves should direct his version of Superman the movie like he's doing with the Batman movie? Listen, it's something I've been keeping to myself. I don't know anything, but I predict that that's what he wants to do. But also, he may allow Ta-Nehisi Coates and J.J. Abrams' Superman movie to be part of his Earth too. So one of those things is definitely going to happen for sure. But I would love a take on Superman by Matt Reeves, because the man's a bloody genius. And a 3-hour Superman movie like the Batman, yeah, take my money now. By the way, I said this yesterday, unrelated to DC, but I'm so happy that Futurama's coming back. What a great animated series that is. But yeah, I think Matt has a lot of plans for his DC universe, his brand new Earth too. Shamath Gopi Nathan, have you watched the recent interview with the Batman cast? I have seen some interviews. Listen, all the marketing and interviews are brilliant because these people are talking from the heart. They're telling us what they did within the movie, what their plans were. It's so great. I've never seen a director and the cast members. Let me just give a shout out to the young woman playing Catwoman, Jason Momoa's adopted daughter or stepdaughter or whatever. I forgot her name, but she's brilliant. She's not coming out with the usual SJW nonsense. She's talking about Rob so glowingly. She's not talking about herself or her politics. She's talking about Rob, her leading man, and saying how great he is. And she's talking about Matt Reeves and talking about how great he is. It's very refreshing to hear a young woman from Hollywood today talking in glowing terms about men, but she's great. Very talented. Shamath Gopi Nathan, Zoe Kravitz. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, Zoe Kravitz, I think listen, you're going to have to make your own minds up about her performance. She's very good in the film, and I think Reeves' take on the Catwoman is the best I've seen thus far. But Zoe Kravitz is so good. But in the marketing, in the interview, she's great. The Bocanator. What do you think about Keaton being the DCEU Batman, but a really older one? Yeah, listen, from all we know, and I know that Ezra Miller's laughing about Ben saying that he's done after the Flash movie, but listen, from all intents and purposes, Ben Affleck doesn't want to be involved anymore. He wants to take his career to Netflix, to streaming. If that's the case, I still think Ben will cameo in movies. But listen, people throwing hate at Michael Keaton, the first live-action Batman, a man who's never done anything wrong. listen, this is very exciting to have Keaton as the DCEU Batman and to have Patterson as the Earth 2 Batman. You know, these are exciting things. These are not things to be upset about as far as I'm concerned. But maybe I'm just a shill. Everyone calls me a WB or a DC shill. That's okay. Maybe I am. I probably am, but I don't care. I'm excited. This is a good idea. Walter Hamada is coming up with great ideas. Bringing in James Gunn was a really good idea. Bringing in Keaton was a really good idea. Balconator, knowing that Keaton really really old, tells that we won't be seeing Batman in action that much. Well, do you know what? Obviously, he can't be in the action that Rob is in. But I've seen that guy. That guy is fucking fit. Just because he's 70. I mean, Clint Eastwood is 100 now, right? Or whatever. Clint Eastwood has been directing movies and starring in movies in the past 30 years. Never discount someone because of their age. Of course, he can't do what the younger Batman can do. But he's going to be a trainer. He's going to be Nick Fury. You know, how old is Samuel L. Jackson now? And he's going to be in his own Disney Plus MCU show as well. I think it's a really good idea to bring him back. And of course, the whole idea here is to mold Dick Grayson and Barbara as the new era of this Bat family, crime family. And that's what Michael Keaton's going to be doing. It's very exciting. Danae Ali, what do you think of the Batman screening yesterday for critics, according to reliable leakers? I think it's true. I think they have seen it, and they do expect some critics to be posting. I don't know if they're allowed to be posting yet. I don't know how it works. I think they're going to love it. You know, I'm not hearing anything negative apart from people who have got an agenda. Some of these Snyder fans, and it's not all Snyder fans, but some of these propaganda merchants have got to be ignored. They're just trying to destroy and ruin our excitement, and they mustn't be allowed. Ronnie Dodge, hey Mick, hopefully we get new footage of the Flash and Black Adam in this new TV spot. So excited for the TV spot, Ronnie. Glad you brought it up. I brought it up earlier on at the beginning of this live video. I think it's great. A 60-second DC Universe video. They're going to show it early, but it's what's going to be promoting at the Super Bowl. Does that mean there'll be no Black Adam promo at the Super Bowl? I think they don't want to promote any individual DC movie until the Batman has started to have its run in cinemas. You don't want to start clashing marketing, do you? But doing it like this, saying we've got 4 huge movies this year, and we've already seen that mini promotion and the new logos. And by the way, doesn't Aquaman with his new highlights and his new costume look awesome as well? Really looking forward to Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. There really is a lot to be excited about and a lot to discuss. Peacemaker, haven't got access to Peacemaker yet, but everyone's loving it. Actually, I've got someone who DMs me and spoils me. I asked to be spoiled about Peacemaker, and I'm very excited. I'm also hearing a few leaks about the finale of Peacemaker. If you're a DC fan and you haven't watched it, binge it, get ready. James Gunn's a great creative. And by the way, can I just say something about all the shit the propaganda merchants are saying about James Gunn, accusing him of certain things I don't want to bring up, you know, on a live YouTube video. Listen, he was caught out making jokes I don't approve of. It's done. It's over. James Gunn always speaks to me when I mention him. He always speaks to me when I, react to his videos on his stories on Instagram. That's a DM. And he reacts to me sometimes. James Gunn's a gentleman, and anyone who's friends with Michael Rosenbaum must be a pretty stand-up guy. So I don't want to hear any shit about James Gunn. Baconator, sorry, mate, I'll try and get your name right. Baconator, do you think Matt Reeves, the Batman, will start a whole new cinematic universe with the Justice League and the Bat family? Yes, that's the plan as far as I'm concerned. I don't know this for sure, but that's my theory. He's been given his own Earth. Matt Reeves can do whatever he wants with his Earth too. So if the multiverse strategy was to fail, you've still got Matt's plans, which is exciting. But I don't want anything to fail, and I don't think it will. Shamath Gopi Nathan, just by looking by the cast, hang on, I'm losing you. Where am I? Right. Oh, you retracted that's why I lost you. Ronnie Dodge, I'm glad WB and DC are part of Super Bowl. They're going all out. Yes, because they haven't really been a big part, DC, have they, in the past? But they understand now. You know, COVID's coming to an end. It's very exciting to promote these things. Android 118 XX. If it does happen, Matt Reeves' universe has a lot of potential with the Bat family. When the DCEU first started, I wanted that from Snyder. Yes, Snyder's a deconstructor. He's a hot taker. So what he did is what he did. I mean, the thing is with Snyder, I love him and I love what he did. But things like killing off Dick Grayson off screen, if you're going to kill off Dick Grayson, which I don't agree with, but if you're going to do it, you do it on the screen. You know, it's no good telling me that the Joker did it. I want to see the Joker beat 10 tons of shit out of Dick Grayson. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with you. So Shamath Gopi Nathan, just by looking by the cast of Batman, you can very, very well say the movie could be amazing. All the actors involved saying that the script was tremendous, that in itself says a lot about the movie. Listen, it's ambitious. It's ambitious, and Matt Reeves is one of the best creatives in the business. Ronnie Dodge, Mick, have you seen the 27-minute interview with the Batman cast? Loved it. I've seen portions, but I haven't seen it. But what you could do for me, Ronnie, if you could be bothered, and sorry for asking you this, could you link it up to me? Because I'd love to see that. Baconator, they can pull the Iron Man type of thing, Metropolis, and LexCorp is mentioned in the novel. Yeah, look, it's a universe. LexCorp, Lex Luthor is a thing there. And ultimately, of course, if Luthor's a thing there, Superman's a thing there, Batman's a thing there, Wonder Woman's a thing there, even fucking Plastic Man. Please, someone do a Plastic Man thing. I love Plastic Man in Batman, the Brave and the Bold. I'd love to see him in live action. Danaya Ali, so excited by the potential of having two Dick Graysons on the big screen, the DCEU and Reeves version. Yes. Look, that's what a multiverse is about. You know, some people complain about the multiverse in the 70s in DC Comics and how confusing it is. Look, a multiverse isn't that confusing. I think the way Marvel are going at it is a lot more confusing than DC are going at it, because DC comic fans have been reading about the multiverse for years, so it doesn't need any explaining. And Danaya Ali, so excited by the potential of having two Dick Graysons on the bit. No, I've read that. Shamath Gopi Nathan, here's the link for the interview. Thank you. I'd love to see that interview. So when I'm in a quiet corner somewhere, I'll definitely see that. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So as I said earlier, I have done a DCEU daily pre-recorded, a very quick one, because I've had a busy morning, but I thought I'd link up with you guys. We don't have any girls, do we? Where's all the girls? Come on. I know there's loads of female geeks out there. We used to have one in our chats. Hero edits. DC has always had better films. They feel more like cinema than Marvel movies. The Marvel movies is just the next chapter. And look, they're okay. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home was awesome. But at the end of the day, this is what I keep on saying to everyone. WB make art, not just in DC, all round. WB make art and Disney make money. That's the difference. Android 118 XX. Imagine Matt Reeves directing the Robin torture scene. Hopefully we reach that type of movie as we progress through Matt's universe. Yeah, I hope so too, because this is a guy who appreciates the comics. As I say, it's no good telling me that Joker killed Robin, beat him to death off screen. That's no fun. We've been waiting for generations to see these things in live action, and telling me that happened. He had no restrictions. He could have done whatever he wanted. I don't think Johns would have allowed him, to kill Dick Grayson off on screen. Now, that when people say, oh, Jeff Johns was toxic to Zack Snyder, it's those things that Jeff was fighting against, because he's a pure DC man. We've got to look at the argument round it, So people like Johns were attempting to protect elements of DC. Where are we? So, Shamath Gopi Nathan, Mick, have you heard anything about Dylan O'Brien as Nightwing? I've heard a lot of things, but nothing tangible. No, nothing official. But from what I'm being told, it is him that's going to play Nightwing. Vengeance. What do you think the total box office of the Batman's going to be? Well, I'm a glass full, not half empty guy. So I'm going to be very ambitious and talk about 2 billion. Why not? Why can't it? Spider-Man No Way Home is approaching that, but that's unrealistic, I suppose, where we are now. It would be amazing, but I do think it's going to make over $1 billion for sure. But why can't this film be in cinema? I mean, they're doing this 46-day window now. Then it goes straight to HBO Max, by the way, which is another exciting thing. So with a smaller theatrical window now, it means people want to get there quicker, and there'll be rewatches and everything. So I'm excited. Shamath Gopi Nathan, in the interview, Robert Pattinson says that he has talked to Matt about a possibility of a trilogy, and he wants to play this character as long as people want him to. I think that Rob and Matt will be involved in this for more than a trilogy, and I think the spin-offs on HBO Max, Rob will be involved in them as well. And I think he's got an exclusive WB HBO Max contract as well, which is very exciting. Balconator, I'm so hyped for The Flash to come out. It's literally going to tell what the future of the DCEU is going to be. Hell, we are not even sure if Ben Affleck's Batman is really leaving. Exactly. And as I say, I can see them keeping him around for cameos, but I think he will vanish initially. And I said this yesterday. I think Barry Allen will be searching for these missing pieces from Flashpoint. Danny Alley, would you say that Batman is like Seven in terms of atmosphere it creates and the detective aspect? Yes, there's a lot of comparisons with Seven that people are not actually really making. I think when we get to the end, you will see a lot of shocking Seven elements to it as well. Shemath Gopi Nathan, Mick, have you secured tickets for the Batman? Listen, I'd like to go to the big events to see it. It isn't going to happen. I did try and get those, March the 1st ones. No chance. I'm going to go and see it. I'm just going to go to my local cinema as many times as I can to see it. And that's very exciting. And because I don't retain information very well, I need to see it as many times as possible as well. So when we're talking about it, I have all my knowledge in my head because I forget so many things. Android 118 times. If Matt, 118 times. If Matt Reeves' universe happens and is successful early on, do you think his universe should be known as Earth 1 and not 2? I have spoken about this, that I had a theory that after Flashpoint, that Matt Reeves' universe would actually be Earth 1, and that would be the main Earth. Could still happen. Anything's possible, right? So that would be interesting. Listen, it's all about money. If what Matt Reeves is doing is so popular with critics and the public, and it's bringing in, say if the Batman brings $2 billion, then you watch it be the main universe. Ronnie Dodge, maybe we get the first Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom footage today then. Well, they finished shooting, and I know that James Wan is a perfectionist. If you remember, he delayed the trailer for the first film because he wasn't happy, and of course they were under pressure after Justice League with the shit VFX in that film, so they wanted to get it right. So I don't know. I think we're going to see a little bit of all these 4 movies releasing in theaters this year, which is very, very exciting. I just think, listen, if you're a DC fan, you've got at least 5 movies out this year. That's not including Super Pets. Super Pets is saying silly, but I'm still looking forward to it. But you know what I mean? It's a great year. And that's not including the Arrowverse stuff, And that's not including things like Doom Patrol. And don't forget, Blue Beetle, a very exciting project coming out next year to movie theaters now. Slowly but surely, we're getting a 2023 slate as well. That's also very, very exciting. But we probably do need to focus on this year because there's a lot going on. Baconator. I'm fine with the Matt Reeves universe being the main Earth. It's a fresh start. Yes, listen. He's an auteur with a difference. He's a very different auteur to Zack Snyder. He looks at things very, very differently. And I think he wants to take things, he wants to go A, B, C, and D rather than jumping from 6 to A, like from 6 to 20 like Snyder does. Shamath Gopi Nathan. Mick, does the Batman have end credit scene? And who do you think will be the villain for Batman 2? I didn't see a post-credit scene. That doesn't mean there's not going to be one in the theatrical cut. We'll have to wait and see. Who do I think is going to be the main villain? I think they're setting up the Penguin to be the main villain in the second movie, and probably that's why we're getting an origin story for him in the HBO Max spin-off. Eric Toro, did they tease the Court of Owls in the Batman? Where are we? Where are we? Deny Ali, have you seen Peacemaker yet? No, I have no access to it. If I had access to it, I would have consumed it because obviously I'm a DC fan. But it's not available where I am. But I have been spoiled. I have got someone DMing me, giving me the information from each episode. I'm very excited. I'm very happy, and I'm hearing very exciting stuff for the finale as well. You definitely need to watch that. Artisan. Maybe there is going to be a big multiverse crisis movie one day with all the heroes from every Earth. Well, Artisan. That's a good point because Jim Lee was teasing this portrait, this Crisis on Infinite Earths portrait, wasn't he? I think that's the direction we're heading in. Maybe something even bigger involving the MCU as well. Who knows? Danny Alley, yeah, like Crisis on Two Earths, yeah. I think we are heading to something huge. There's big plans now. The thing is with the Snyderverse, it's great, but it reduced what you could do. Balconator, Mr. Freeze could really fit the Matt Reeves universe. I'd like to see something emotional and deep and dark because Mr. Freeze isn't a campy villain. And I think his origin story would be great. I think it's something that Todd Phillips could do in his universe as well. Ronnie Dodge, that teaser we got last night with Epic and saw a better look at Barry's new suit. Yes, so excited when things like that come out. I want to do instant videos. Unfortunately, I can't, but I want to talk about it straight away. Android 118 XX. Looking at Matt's Gotham, it looks like the perfect place to introduce someone like Green Arrow. Imagine we got a tag team from then. Yeah, look, Green Arrow deserves the movie treatment. I think they did a great job with him in Smallville. I think they did an even better job with him in the first 2 seasons of Arrow. And I think Green Arrow is a great character, and someone could do such a great job with him in movies. Where are we? Shamath Gopi Nathan Mick, your thoughts on Barry Coogan as Joker in Matt Reeves' universe? Well, I can't really say anything. If it was up to me, look, I've seen the film. I'm not going to spoil it, but my pick would be a shocking revelation that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is part of Matt's universe. Now, you have to wait and see the movie to see what happens. If it was me, I would definitely align Matt's universe and Todd Phillips' universe because they're very, very similar. But they may want to keep that separate. It's very, very interesting, these rumors about a Joker sequel. I don't think it's a direct sequel to the Joker. I think it's a Harley Quinn villain story. Shamath Gopi Nathan, thanks, man, for the info. Welcome. Yeah, I think they're going to do a proper Harley Quinn villain story for Todd Phillips' second film. I think Joaquin Phoenix is definitely involved in that, but we're not looking at a Joker sequel. That's why when people keep on complaining about a Joker sequel, you don't know what's coming. So maybe, keep it stum until you know what's happening. But, that's another thing, isn't it? Todd Phillips' villain universe continuing. That's exciting. So many great things. I must say that Ann Sarnoff has really cleaned up a terrible mess over at WB, doing a great job. Jim Lee doing a great job. Walter Hamada doing a great job, no matter what the propaganda merchants say. Android 118 XX, Deathstroke in Matt Reeves' universe. Listen, it's a shame what happened with Deathstroke in Zach's universe, because I think in the Batman movie, he was going to be great. I want to see him in live action. Shamath Gopi Nathan, have you heard anything on James Gunn's new project? I've heard that it's unrelated to what he's doing right now with Peacemaker. He's hoping for a Peacemaker sequel series. He is looking to do something separate from what he's doing right now. I don't know what the plans are. Problem with James right now, he's involved with Guardians 3. That's out in 2023. I'm told he may want to take a break and then come back. So we'll have to wait and see. Knowing James Gunn, though, he'll want to get back on the horse as soon as possible. Ronnie Dodge, did you see on IMDb that Michael Keaton assistant is on the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom page? Interesting. So it does look like this year is about crossovers and aligning this universe together. And I've made the prediction already, including Peacemaker, that all these films are set after Flashpoint. That's interesting. I think that's what's going on. Danny Alley, even though I'm not a fan of the Snyderverse, would love to see Cavill return as Superman. Yes, poor Henry Cavill. He got caught in between the drama with the Snyderverse and what else was going on. He has been fighting for a direct sequel to Man of Steel. He doesn't want more money. He doesn't care about money. He's worth more money. Ben Affleck shouldn't have been paid more than him. But listen, he's a great Superman, and all he wants is a direct sequel to Man of Steel. Some very interesting things will develop about Man of Steel in the Flash movie. We know Man of Steel will be changed in certain aspects. We know that he doesn't kill Zod anymore after Flashpoint. We know that Fiora and Michael Shannon Zod will be in the Phantom Zone at the end of that movie. I think that's great because I want to see those guys again. Sam Dejan Reeves, I want a Superman versus Brainiac movie with Henry Cavill. Wouldn't that be great? Shamath Gopi Nathan, do you think they will set up a Bat family in Matt Reeves' Earth 2? Yeah. I always said that, even before I saw the film. I said that that's his plans. He is a hardcore comics book fan, you know, and he loves all this. So, and you know, he wants to adapt comics. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, I would love Henry's Superman under a different director who understands the character, not making a dig at Snyder. Or am I low? Well, listen, Man of Steel is a great movie. I like it. But ultimately, people don't want to see Superman killing. You know, Batman killing is debatable, but Superman shouldn't be killing. Simple as that. You know, you can take, and you know, and that wasn't down to Snyder. That was down to David Goyer. Superman, you don't have Superman snapping someone's neck. Kids can't watch that. That's wrong. It's as simple as that. You know, you want someone who can fly and beams heat vision out of his eyes to kill, create another character. Artisan, it would be awesome if Cavill Superman fought alongside Rob's Batman. Oh, wow, wouldn't that be awesome? Shamath Gopi Nathan, damn, it's a really good time to be a DC fan. It really is. I mean, listen, I don't understand how these propaganda merchants operate. And I mean, they talk a lot of shit. But if you don't want to be excited and you want a studio to restore the Snyderverse, slaughtering the studio, slaughtering Jeff Johns isn't a very good idea. That's not how you convince people to give you something, is it now? Ronnie Dodge, I would love him and Sasha sharing a scene together, maybe in The Flash, and it's a secret. Listen, I hope they're just hiding Cavill's involvement in the Flash movie. But one thing's for sure, My Time to Shine, this scooper site that was founded in October of 2021, are full of shit, and so is Grace Randolph. Denia Ali, any updates on Green Lantern and New Gods? Well, there's no New Gods at the moment. Green Lantern series is still in development, very exciting. I think they are still planning to do a Green Lantern motion picture for movie theaters. I did suggest to James Gunn on Twitter that Robert Downey Jr. would be a great older version of the character that, and I forgot his name now. I always forget his name that Ryan Reynolds played. I think Robert Downey Jr. would be great. Then get a younger black guy to play the guy that Robert Downey Jr. Hal Jordan is training. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. would be my casting for an older Hal Jordan. You know. Training John Stewart. That would be very, very awesome for me. James Gunn actually liked that tweet. Right, Baconator. I agree. Superman shouldn't kill, but Ben's Batman is kind of reasonable. Has been through a lot. Yeah, I think Batman's a dark character. It's okay for me if he kills, but I understand the fans who don't want him to kill. But Superman's pure, man. Superman's for kids as well as adults. You don't have him, you know, snapping someone's neck. It's fucking dumb. And it cost the movie a lot of money. It's as simple as that. People don't want to admit that. It doesn't trigger me that Superman killed. I was okay with it. The atmosphere in the cinema was electric when he did that. But the point is, that Superman movie wasn't for children. You know, where, you know, things stop measuring dicks and some of the stuff they were saying in Man of Steel. There was no need for that. It wasn't an R-rated movie. And, you know, you take the character away from families and children. You should never do that. Android 118 XX, we should have had a Superman trilogy by now. One of the most popular superhero. How is this possible? Just like how they reboot Batman after a trilogy and with a new actor. Same should go for Supes. Yeah, I mean, they are doing a Val Zod Superman and they are doing Tanashi Coates Superman. So those are Supermen of color, but that doesn't mean they should replace the OG Superman. But I'm hearing there is a lot of plans for Superman, which is exciting. But you're right. We should have had more Superman by now. Justice League ruined that. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, there is so many cameos in The Flash that we don't know about, unlike No Way Home, leaked left, right, and center. Yes, the secrecy at WB and DC now is a lot better than it was under Snyder. He just had no security there. So I think that, as I say, the only things we know about the film is the stuff that they want us to know. They wanted us to know about Sasha and Supergirl. That's why Andy gave her the job on Instagram. You know, they don't want us to know anything else, and that's very exciting. Artisan, you really wish we got that Superman trilogy. Yeah, listen, it's a shame. It is a shame that the plans didn't happen. But unfortunately, the audience didn't respond to Snyder's vision like, you know, they wanted him to. But you don't get Zack Snyder to start a cinematic universe to rival the MCU. You're not going to become successful. He's made great movies. I like his movies. But at the end of the day, that's not how you go about things. Terry Young, what iconic Batman comic stories do you think we might see adapted in some form in the Matt Reeves universe? Oh, look, there's so many that Matt likes. I listen. I think the Court of Owls is something that, well, you need to watch the Batman movie, but I think that might be one in the future that Matt might be interested in. Ronnie Dodge, apart from Gal doing a Tom Holland and let slip, she's basically in the Flash in her new year video. Yeah, Ronnie, I think the studio wanted her to do that to get people excited because I think, you know, Shazam was great, but it's not a very popular character. And, you know, announcing that Wonder Woman is in there makes things a bit more hyped, doesn't it? Baconator, when is a potential date where we can get the official trailer of The Flash? That's interesting. As I say, they're not going to do anything too big right now with the Batman coming into theaters very soon. I think first that they're going to focus on each movie as the release date comes. So the next hype engine will be for Black Adam. I think once Black Adam has happened, then expect many TV spots, many trailers for the Flash movie. Shamath Gopi Nathan, Mick, would you want a Batman Beyond movie? Would be perfect for the DCEU. Well, maybe that's something they could do with Keaton. That would be very, very exciting. I would like that. And fans have been clamoring for this stuff. There's money to be made from this. You know, the success story of the MCU is Feige giving people what they want. It's become a lot more political and SJW-fied now because Disney have gone that direction. But something like Spider-Man No Way Home is what the audience asked for, and it worked. Ronnie Dodge, properly June or July, we get the first trailer for The Flash. Yeah, I think maybe when you go and see Black Adam in theaters, they'll have a ready-made 3-minute trailer for the Flash movie. Wouldn't that be very exciting? I mean, I think Black Adam's going to be amazing. Android 118 XX, Michael Giacchino should do a Superman thing if there was a movie. Did you hear the Batman one? Yeah, his themes. Has the Selena Kyle music come out yet? Because I've been reviewing each track as it comes out. I haven't heard anything about it, but I had a very busy morning. But listen, Giacchino is everywhere right now. Listen, I love his music for Lost and Alias and Fringe. He's a great composer. His music for the Batman is awesome. Why not allow him to do something special for Superman? I actually think that what Hans Zimmer did in the Snyderverse was amazing, and then Junkie XL as well. But Michael is a really great composer. I still think his Lost music soundtrack is the best he's ever done. Artisan, who would you cast as the Reverse Flash for the DCEU? Yes, interesting, isn't it? Will we get a Reverse Flash in the Flash movie? Very interesting. Who would I cast? I mean, there's so many people out there that could do a really, really good job. I mean, we don't know if Ezra Miller is playing the Reverse Flash in the Flash movie. That'd be interesting. Might not go down very well with fans, but there are so many people. The guy who plays the Reverse Flash in Arrowverse is good. I'm not talking about the guy who plays Wells. I'm talking about the other guy. he's very, very good. But there are so many people out there who could play Reverse Flash. I think there's just so many good actors out there. But I would probably bring in an unknown to do that. I mean, who would you choose to play Reverse Flash? So we'll give this live video another 5 minutes. We'll have a few chats. I'll answer your questions and your points. It's 10 to 1, so I'm a bit hungry. I should have made some lunch and had it here while we were talking. I didn't think. So keep here with all your points. We'll be here for the next 5 minutes talking DC. And I'll try and do a reaction vid to that 60-second DC Universe promo. Very excited about that. Ronnie Dodge, I think the Flash will have villains, but the villains could be time. It's something that Barry doesn't have. Yeah, maybe he's running out of time. Maybe from the moment he's in Flashpoint, there's this kind of, race against time before the walls of the multiverse shut again and he can't reverse the effects of Flashpoint. Maybe that's it. That's a good shout out by Ronnie Dodge. Denali Ali, Anthony Starr, Homelander would be a perfect Reverse Flash. Yes, he's very good, isn't he? Maybe a bit typed now, but yeah, he'd be an interesting take. Shamath Gopi Nathan. Mick, do you think the Batman could break No Way Home's records? It's interesting, isn't it? The problem we have at DC is that anything Marvel do, epic or crap, makes money because the brand is got confidence. It's got consumer confidence. The DC brand hasn't got the consumer confidence that Marvel has. So that's why it's difficult. But this is a really hyped up movie. It's not R-rated, which is I'm glad it's not R-rated for the box office's sake, although look what the Joker did. But although the Joker wasn't R-rated, and I don't think the Joker actually needed to be R-rated with the stuff in it, maybe that could have made another extra billion. Who knows? So, yeah, the Batman could equal, that box office. There's no reason why it shouldn't. We'll have to see what the reactions from people are. Balconator, Marvel is already built for years. Yeah, listen, Marvel has got a guy he's got it all mapped out. Look how he fleshed out No Way Home. Look how he fleshed out Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe in Homecoming and Far From Home, and then gave everyone an epic third movie, which is literally Tom Holland's origin movie, if you think about it. The guy's very, very clever, but it doesn't mean DC should give up. What they're planning now is very exciting, but it's also very ambitious. Ronnie Dodge, time could be the villain as it destroying the DCEU universe and the Burtonverse, but Barry has to join them both together at the end. Yeah, that could be something he needs Grant Gusting's Flash's help for. Maybe there's 4 or 5 versions of the Flash, including Grant and Ezra, who have to fix that with their abilities. That would be very awesome. Denali Ali, No Way Home is a family movie. The Batman won't be enjoyed much by kids, so it may be the better movie, but unlikely to break the record yet. Listen, I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't know if kids are going to go to this movie. Is this a kid-friendly movie? I don't think it's not a kid-friendly. Listen to me. They've released the book for kids, don't forget. But I don't think this is anti-kids, even though it's really dark and violent. I still think kids could go and see this and make Rob their Batman. Artisan. I think David Spade would be a good Reverse Flash. Listen, do you know what? I met David while I was living in Hollywood for 6 months. Such a lovely man, a really talented man. I'd love to see him in the superhero universe. David Spade, I've got a lot of time for David. His voice just cracks me up. He doesn't even have to be funny, does he? But I like David. Artisan, I think, yeah. Balconator, DCEU currently is kind of confused. The DCEU currently is kind of confusing for other casual fans. It's kind of confusing because it's a bit of a mess right now, right? Excuse me. I'm dying here. Don't worry about it. Yeah, because what's canon? Justice League, the Snyder Cut, things like that. I understand what you're saying. But the idea of Flashpoint is to clean all of that up and make it a cohesive universe. And I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think Zack's Justice League or Joss's Justice League are going to be canon anymore. They could both be deleted. Who knows? But I think what will happen at the end of Flashpoint, everyone will understand and won't be confused anymore. But you do make a good point there. Android 118 XX. The thing is, with No Way Home, they had the previous Spider-Man, which is the main reason they broke records. So it's unlikely Batman will break that record, but definitely come close. Yeah, that's what I mean. The Batman is amazing because it's all original. It's an iconic character, but it's an original take. So they're not throwing in other people or things like that. Spider-Man No Way Home isn't necessarily a great work of art. Spider-Man No Way Home is a feel-good movie that works, and it's a continuation from everything we've seen in the MCU thus far. This is not part of the DCEU. It's something of its own. It's the first chapter, but I think people will come. As they said in Field of Dreams, people will come. Ronnie Dodge, can I just say that DC and WB are treating their female heroes better than Marvel, in my opinion? I mean, we have a Latino supergirl. Listen, the MCU are very good at virtue signaling, like they did with Captain Marvel, but they don't create realistic female heroes. For example, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman has inspired many young girls from different cultures and all of that. Because first and foremost, she's a character. She's been fleshed out. She's very good, and that's why people love Gal's Wonder Woman. So, and yeah, we're getting Batgirl, right, which is great. We've got a woman of color as Batgirl. We've got Sasha Calle, a Latino actress, as Supergirl. So it's all very exciting, and hopefully they've done a good job with Sasha's Supergirl. I can't see why not. But yeah, I think if you want to be, representative and inclusive, you've got to do the work on the page. It's no good saying, "Oh, she's a female, like her," right? That's not what you do with the men, is it? You flesh out the male characters. You can't just say, "Here's a Latino woman, like her." You've got to do the groundwork. Otherwise, but this is what WB do. Euphoria is a great TV series on HBO Max, and there's so much inclusion in that show. But those characters have touched the hearts of so many young girls. I mean, it's so part of the TikTok generation now. And I think WB know how to do that better with than Disney. Disney's interesting to me because it's supposed to appeal to the younger audience, but it doesn't do very well, in inspiring young women or creating great female characters. And I think Sony are going to do a better job than Disney are going to do with female Marvel. Denali Ali, does Andy Serkis' Alfred have the same sass and sarcasm as Michael Caine's Alfred? Lol, so different. So it's absolutely 100% north of Michael Caine's Alfred, which is south. Yes, there are humorous moments there, but there's a serious thing going on between Andy Serkis's Alfred and Rob Pattinson's Bruce Wayne. They don't really have, a relationship. Alfred doesn't approve of what he's doing. He can see that he's obsessed. It's not good for him. And he can see that the reputation of the Waynes is going down the toilet. So it's a very different relationship than Caine had with Christian Bale. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, you don't see Marvel putting their female superheroes into a world war as their origin story like WW. I mean, in my eyes, No Man's Land is still one of the CBM moments ever. Listen, it is. It's great, and credit to Zack Snyder. That's who I give credit for that. When you look at the cinematography of that moment, that has Snyder written all over it, not Patty Jenkins. But it's great. And DC has so many iconic moments like that. In Superman the movie, in Man of Steel, in Batman 89, in Batman Returns. People can keep on boring on about the MCU, but DC have been doing it for a lot longer and have many more iconic movies that are actually movies. Jesus is a goat. Hey, wow, Jesus is a goat. I haven't spoken to you for ages and we're nearly at the end of the video. That's a shame. Baconator, where do you rank the Batman to the other Batman movies? I hate doing this. I hate doing this when something new comes out. It seems very transparent, but for me, it's the best. It's the best Batman movie ever made. But I will put Batman Begins just underneath that and Batman Returns just underneath that. They will be my top three. I still have a lot of time for Batman Begins and Batman Returns. Android 118 double X. If Reeves has his universe, then it'll be more confusing. You'll have the Snyderverse, Hamadaverse, and Reevesverse. They should remove one. I personally would remove Hamada's and choose Zach and Matt. Well, listen, Android, I want to answer your question because it's not confusing at all. Because Zack Snyder obviously is being removed from the equation in the Flashpoint movie, so he's going to be gone. What Hamada is, look, Hamada, unless Zaslav and Discovery come in and boot him out very quickly, which is unlikely because I think all his plans and projects are going well. So you can't remove Hamada. Hamada hasn't done anything wrong. We haven't really seen his plans yet. Those, the movies we've seen from Hamada thus far are just placeholder movies. The plan he's always had is the worlds of DC, the multiverse strategy. I think we need to give him a chance. But yeah, there's no reality where Zack Snyder remains and Walter Hamada goes. I think Zack's done, isn't he, for now? It's as simple as that. The Flow, when are you going back to the sunny Cyprus? I'm hoping at the end of next week. Let's see what happens there. Ronnie Dodge, do you think my theory is good about Supergirl's first flight is in that concept art of Barry? And if it's Kara on top of Wayne Manor, I think that's a great spot. I think that would be awesome. I'd really like it. And I think it's a really good one. Not a good one, a great one, Ronnie. I like it. And maybe it will happen. Why not? Android 118 double X. Wonder Woman 84 was a princess movie. Wonder Woman 84 had so many problems. When you make a movie so great and then you make a movie that isn't so great, you have to look at that and say, hang on, did this woman who claims she made the first movie actually make the first movie? Or was Wonder Woman 2017 actually really a Zack Snyder movie that Patty Jenkins took credit for? That's what I think. Jesus is a go. Wow, the best Batman. I can't wait to see it. Watch it on the biggest screen. Ronnie Dodge. I like how everyone is trying to get rid of Walter. We haven't seen the multiverse yet. Yeah, exactly. Look, some people want him to fail. I think it's going to be great. I don't think it is going to fail. Jesus is a go. I need to get back in the game. Mad. I didn't know you were doing live shows again. I only started yesterday. Only got a new laptop recently. Baconator. To be honest, after seeing the plot of the Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, I don't like the idea of Batman having a relationship with Lois. Well, these are the random deconstructive things that Snyder does. Not only does he have an affair with Lois Lane, that he dies at the end. So the Snyderverse wasn't going to carry on. Snyder, in his own admittance, was going to do his own Flashpoint, and so someone else could come in and take over the DCEU. But the problem is, once you do all that, how do you start again? That's where the problem lies, isn't it? Ronnie Dodge, Zack's stuff just didn't work for the general audience. I'm sorry if people don't agree. No, I love it, but it didn't work for the general audience. It didn't work. Doing Justice League was a mistake. What they did there was a mistake. Once you've got him in, you've got to allow him to finish his take. But at the end of the day, they've made mistakes. That's the old leadership. We've got a new leadership. We must move on. We can debate it all day. I mean, it's happening. It's happening. Any points anyone wants to make before I sign off? It's been a great live, apart from me choking to death. I'm just going to relax just to see if any of you have got any more points to make. Right, I want to apologize if it's not a great feed. The internet isn't great here, so the feed isn't always great. So if you're looking back at this, and if you're not watching this live, I do apologize about that. So it looks like, oh no, hang on. Danny Ali, are the Donner films your favorite Superman films? Superman the movie, Denier, was the first film I ever saw. It's the reason I love DC. It's the reason I love films. That film for me is perfection. The way Superman is loved by everyone, the feel-good factor, you come out the cinema just wanting more. And it's, it's like, it's a bit like Wonder Woman 2017. When you come out after that film, you just want to watch more. You've got so much good feelings for that film. So, Superman the movie is one of my favorite films of all time. I wouldn't say I prefer it to Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. What I'm going to say is that I put Man of Steel and Superman the movie as my favorite two Superman movies. But then there's Smallville, which I think created their own DC universe on a television production budget and did a great pre-Superman story, the best Lex Luthor ever. You know, so I would say Smallville, Superman, and Man of Steel are my favorite live action takes thus far of Superman. But Superman and Lois is doing a great job, by the way. Balconator, I'd watch Justice League Snyder Cut a ton of times if it was a bit shorter. Yeah, it's a very long film. Look, I watch it every evening, I'll be honest. I don't finish it. I fall asleep by the middle part, not because I don't like it, because it's late and I just have it to have something on. But it's a great movie. There's no question about that. Ronnie Dodge, is there loads of action in the Batman? Yes, but there's also plenty of character work. It's all balanced out. It's not just action, 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 but it's not just talking, talking, talking. It's all balanced out. Great action, but great, you know, a great narrative, great dialogue. It has a balance. Eric Toro, Mick, the host with the most, just ask your girlfriend and your wives. You know what? My sister says, do you really say that? They're going to think you're sleeping with their girlfriends and their wives. They're going to be offended. But you're not offended by me, are you? Because you know it's a lark. And you know I'm from the 80s. And in the 80s, we made jokes and people didn't get fucking offended, did they? Shamath, where are we? Shamath Gopi Nathan. How was the cinematography in the Batman? Does it deserve an Oscar? If it was me, right? And this is a discussion they were having on the Hollywood Reporter. And I was having a discussion with a journalist about this. The Oscars and the Academy are losing popularity. The Oscar show doesn't get many ratings. It's time to start nominating the blockbuster films, the films that this generation want to be rewarded rather than just the artistic ones. You can put the artistic ones in there, of course, they deserve it. But I definitely think that the Batman is going to have many, many nominations. I believe this could be a Best Picture. I believe this could be a Best Director. And I believe that, for example, Paul Dano could win Best Supporting Actor as Ed Nashton, the Riddler, and Rob Pattinson could win a Best Actor for his performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne, because it's that fucking good. But is that realistic? Who knows? Ronnie Dodge, you just know certain fans are going to expect David to come in and save the day. Not going to happen. And I think there is a hope there that he can come in, David Zaslav, and restore the Snyderverse. We'll have to see about that. I'm not against that, as long as everyone can enjoy different portions of DC. Android 118 XX, I want to feel the hope in Goosebumps again in a new Superman movie. Yeah, Superman's about hope, and Superman actually did it. Should I say that again? Smallville did that. Clark was a hopeful character. It was a hopeful world, but it could get pretty dark. There was a balance there. So brilliant. Artisan Item, which live-action Batman do you think fights the best? Oh, Pattinson's Batman has got some great fucking moves. You've seen one of them in that DC Fandom clip, that first trailer. Who are you supposed to be? That one. Boom, boom, boom. Now, that's great. But I think his moves in the movie, the choreography that they had him doing, is the best. But there's some great stuff in the other Batman movies, and I don't want to put one above the other. But yeah, for me, the Batman, it's not just because it's the newest or the latest thing I've seen. It is so good. Ronnie Dodge, can you say if Rob is the best Batman? Do you know what? Christian Bale has been my favorite Batman for a long time. And again, I don't like putting one against the other. He's such a fresh take, but he's the Batman from the comics. So for me, he is the best. He's the Batman from the comics. That's the thing about this. That's what I loved about this take the most. Danny Alley, The Dark Knight was definitely snubbed internationally from Best Picture. Yeah, it's an interesting one, The Dark Knight, isn't it? Was it overhyped because of Ledger's death? Is it as great as people say it is? It's an interesting conversation. Balconator, is there anything you don't like about the Batman? There's nothing that jumped up at me and I said, I don't like this. Batman would never do that. So, no, there's nothing I can say I hate about the Batman. I mean, I love Man of Steel, but there's certain things I wouldn't have done in Man of Steel. for example. I love Smallville, but there's certain things I wouldn't have done in Smallville. I think of Batman 89 and I think of Batman Returns. There's nothing in there that I don't like either. Eric Torra, Mick, you winked when I asked you about the Court of Owls. You have no idea how excited I am to see them bring on the court, what they bring on the court and what they will do with it. Listen, the Court of Owls is something that Batman stands have been asking for a very, very long time. Vengeance, do you think WB are releasing too many clips for the Batman? I'm avoiding all of them, but it's too hard. Don't avoid them. Don't avoid them. They're not giving away anything. You are not ready. You have not seen anything yet. Denia Ali, does Bruce have inner monologues in the movie like the comics? Yes. Oh, yes. And narration. Yeah, is that what you're talking about? Narration. Shamath Gopi Nathan, from the look of it, Pattinson's Batman looks to be very high tech. Well, it's an interesting thing to talk about, actually, because when we see a lot of the gadgets in the Keaton one, or even Batman, the 60s Batman, he's got too much tech. See, this Batman has got tech, but it's more realistic tech, like his car. You know, it's more believable that guy has built that car up from nothing, because he pretty much has. So although he's got tech, it's believable tech. Android 118 XX, yeah, even more excited. Wasn't a fan of Bale's Batman fight scenes. I liked them. They were okay. But yeah, what we see in this film is so different. Balconator, how long was the Batman when you watched it? Well, the film itself is, without the end credits, is around 2 hours, 45 minutes or so. And with the credits, it's just under 3 hours. Are very long credits. I like credits. I like to sit there after the credits. Jesus is a go. I went through the Dark Knight trilogy again and realized Bale is definitely the best Batman. Not my favorite Batman, but undoubtedly the best so far. Christian Bale is such a good actor, and I think his best performance was in Batman Begins, as far as I'm concerned. Batman Begins really fleshed out Nolan's Bruce Wayne, and it was Bruce Wayne's movie rather than Batman's movie, and I think that's why it worked for me. We saw so much of Christian Bale performing. In The Dark Knight, I felt I was robbed of Christian Bale as an actor. And I just think other elements took the limelight, and that's a shame. Shama Gopi Nathan, have a great day to flow. Did you like the Penguin in the movie? Yeah. Colin Farrell does a great job. I can't wait to see the HBO Max spin-off. Very, very exciting times. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. I'll be back for another live maybe tomorrow if I'm here on my own. It's great. I'm on my own. I can shout. It's cool. Not so easy when my nephews and my sister are here. That's who I'm staying with right now. But thank you for all your questions and all your points. It's been great. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and tell everyone about me. After all, we're all just fans, aren't we? Baconator, bye. See you later, mate. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and I will see you later. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad to keep the conversation going. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. See you later.